Hello, gay men. I'm John Derler, and this is Coming Inside Out, and I am with the...
Brian James, John. It's always good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
I'm loving doing this podcast with you. We are having such a great time.
It is.
And we're getting so many people reaching out to us. It's been amazing.
It has been amazing.
Yes.
We've got some news here about Palm Springs Pride.
Yes.
So for those that do not know, Thursday, October 31st through November 3rd is Palm Springs Pride. We are actually going to be marching in the Pride.
Yes, we will be.
That Sunday, right?
Yes.
And that starts at what, 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. We're going to meet beforehand, and then we're going to do a brunch afterwards. But yes, we'll be marching as gay fathers of Los Angeles, San Diego, Palm Springs.
Please come up and say hello to us if any of you are there. It'd be great to see.
I guess a Starbucks or something. I don't know. Yes, we're going to be exhausted from the walk.
I used that soap from our Texas dude. That soap was really, really good.
One of the bars that I got was mint, and this is way too much TMI, but you put that mint on, and I washed myself with it, and it has a real tingly sensation that comes with it. I don't know what it is, but it feels good.
It smells so good. So thank you for that.
Yes.
So what do we got going on?
So we have Movember. We want to talk about Movember. Yeah. I'm going to get ready to shave my whole goatee off.
What?
I know. Well, just for the month of November.
Yeah.
And so Movember is an annual event involving the growing of a mustache during the month of November to raise awareness for men's health issues such as prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's mental health and suicide. Mm. And so Gay Fathers Worldwide created a fundraiser link. If you're listening to this podcast, you can go into any of our show note descriptions, and there's a link on all of them.
Okay.
On YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify, all of them under our show notes. We'll have the link. There's, I think, 4 different currencies. You click on it. You can donate as little as $10, but Gay Fathers Worldwide is looking to raise $10,000 in the month of November.
All right.
And then... really big is October 11th is National Coming Out Day, which is right around the corner.
That's a big day.
It's a big day. I got a t-shirt. I did not come out on October 11th. I came out on July 6th of 2020. But I know that for National Coming Out Day, people will go on social media. They'll change like the little ribbon around their name. They'll put a flag. They'll do rainbow or something like that. So that's October 11th. National Coming Out Day. I went online to the LGBTQ Resource Center, and some of the reasons why they list on their website for a person to come out.
Yeah. One of them is developing closer, more genuine relationships with friends and family.
That has been 100% true with me. All of my relationships have just the people that I've met. It's just so much more genuine. And yes, that's true for me.
I've got something else for this. National Coming Out Day. Maybe it's just within yourself without telling anyone.
Absolutely.
Because this is part of what we're doing here is we're, if you're not sure, just, take stock in yourself.
Admitting it to yourself.
Admitting it to yourself and you're coming out to yourself. That is huge.
That's massive.
And, this is a step process. Yeah. This is a step process because I think you're always coming out. A lot of people, I think to different people at different times, and, it just organically happens. Yes. But at the very beginning, for all of us, it's like our self-look.
Or just an admittance to your sexuality.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, when they first come out, they come out as bi.
Right? Yeah.
So,
and that's what I mean. I didn't know if I was gay or if I was bi because I'd slept with women and men.
Yeah.
And so, it was a process. So the next reason is alleviating the stress of hiding one's identity. Oh, God.
Yes, that's huge.
And I know there's so many listeners out there that are right in the middle of this because they haven't come out. or maybe they've come out to a couple people, maybe they haven't come out to their wives. And
maybe they're not married. Maybe this is someone in their early 20s.
Exactly.
With their
exactly whoever. It's just there's so much, frustration, and and then so we've been there.
Yes.
We've been there. We love you. You're loved and you're supported. Connecting with other people who are LGBTQ plus. Man, I'm telling you, there's so many resources out there.
This is how John and I met, exactly this way.
Yeah.
Gay Fathers of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
In 2020. So
was it 2020?
Was 2020.
4 years.
It was during COVID. Yes.
Wow. That's great. All right, another one, being a part of a community with others with whom you have something in common.
100%.
Strength in groups.
Going to the Eagle. We have that in common.
Going to the Eagle, going to different clubs.
Yes.
But also going to these retreats. Yes. Like you went up and was it Montauk?
Sagatock.
There was a talk.
Yeah.
But that's come from Native American, right? Is that Native American?
I have no idea.
I think Montauk was Native American land. Well, it was all Native American land. But I think it is. It'll be interesting to see. Helping to dispel myths and stereotypes by speaking about one's own experience and educating others.
100%. I told you a story about when I had a client that I met them and befriended them and had been working with them. And this was somebody who did not seem like they were supportive of anybody who was gay. He was a retired cop. He was no nonsense.
Right.
I was outed by a coworker to him. And because he had already developed a friendship with me, I think I educated him. Like, wow, Brian, whether he's gay or straight or whatever he is, he's a great agent. He's a great guy and whatever. So, yeah, I think I educated him on that.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Being a role model for others.
Here we stand.
But
these all apply to us.
They do.
These all apply to us.
And different types of coming out. Coming out to family and friends.
Yeah.
Coming out.
Just a friend. Maybe you just want to tell one person.
And that's what I was talking about. We're always coming out.
Yes.
And some people I hear are just so frustrated. I'm tired of coming out. I'm tired of, at this, at this step or, down the road. I think we always are.
Yeah.
In some way. And coming out at work, coming out socially, coming out while traveling.
So somebody had told me, this goes back a couple of years ago, that they went on a trip by themselves. I don't know if it was a business trip or if it was a personal trip, but he was married and he actually came out while he was in another state to complete strangers. And the exhilaration that came from these people not knowing him from a hole in the wall and just being able to have a conversation with a complete stranger and tell them that he was gay was so liberating for him. So, jump in your car, jump on a plane.
Yeah.
If you need a test run coming out, do that with a complete stranger that there's no recourse to it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So those are just different ways of coming out. Again, this is October 11th. So
and listen, and we were talking about this too, about the LGBTQ community over there on Los Palmas.
The center, yes.
The center. I actually did a coming out class. It was a 2 or 3 week long class, and so just in your community or the big cities that are around you, they should have these. And if you need to go and just sit and
a class on coming out. Did it talk a lot about did it educate you on sex and like all protecting yourself and safe sex?
Well, yeah, I mean it talks about that, but it was really more so of coming out to family, coming out to friends, coming out just as coming out. It was a course. And they were so loving and just helpful.
Was it like a Dr. Ruth with 2 dolls?
No, No, well, it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about sex at all.
Sex at all.
Yeah, at all. It was the coming out process, which is important because we're all like, how do I do it? What's my first step? And again, the first step is coming out within yourself.
Yes.
Right.
100%.
And coming inside.
Coming in from the inside out.
Coming from the inside out. But then having a guide, having a playbook of that helps you. And you know what? Take the playbook. You don't have to agree with all of it, but whatever, morph it into what you can identify with. And it was so good. It was so good. And we're going to do a trip over there.
Yes, we are. We have committed to doing that, and we'll go over there and we'll come back with a lot of good info.
Well, exactly. There'll be a lot of good information and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got.
All right. So next on the list, I thought we would read some letters from our listeners.
Okay.
I'm going to set the stage for the first one.
Okay.
Because the first one a listener had written in, and he titled his email "Rejection of Gay Fathers by Their Children." And in episode 21, John and I were talking about me feeling like a failure. My son has been sending me some amazing, beautiful, kind letters in boot camp, and I don't feel deserving of those letters and what he's saying to me. And I was sharing with John that
and you're not
as a father.
You're not a failure.
And the transcripts read, not what was intended, but the transcripts read, your response was, obviously you haven't, because you're getting all of these letters and they're talking to you. I think a parent's failure is when they don't have a relationship with their children. That's failure. So this listener wrote in, and I'll read his email, and then I will let you respond. Hi, John and Brian, gay father from Australia here. Really love your podcast. Thank you very much for it. In your latest episode, John mentioned that a sign of failure as a parent is when a child has rejected you. Many fathers who have come out late in life have been rejected by their children. I am one of them. I'm wondering if you would consider an episode where you discuss how fathers can cope with this situation. And I've got to say, well, the rest of it doesn't matter, but yeah.
Well, I think there was misinterpretation there,
Yes.
and I'm so sorry that he felt that way. But because I'm a product of a failed father, who my father never showed up, and I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I think he took it to where if he came out or someone comes out and their kids reject him, then you have failed as a father. That's not the case here, not at all. My point, because you got these letters and they were, loving you, and you felt like you failed. Of course you didn't fail, and that's what I was talking about. But I'm also talking about when we have children. When you're a parent, I don't care if you're gay, straight, bi, whatever. If you're going to have a child, show up for your child.
Yes.
Be there, nurture them. And, I came from the 70s. My dad left when I was 4. He never was involved. That is failure.
Yes.
As a father. And so I want to make sure I'm very clear on what was said and what I meant by that. So I'm sorry you took it that way, but that was not the intention of it. And I have a big issue with fathers that are banding. Now, oh my God, I feel for the fathers that their children turn away from them when they find out they're gay. That is a huge, huge disappointment, a huge issue, and that's something we should talk about, because it's sad. I mean, even some people that I know that are gay fathers, their kids have turned against them, even after they have been there for them.
Yes.
Even if they loved them and nurtured them, because in the 70s, dads were at work, the moms took care, but not today, man. We're seeing dads out here with strollers being part of their children's lives, which I love. And I guess my question would be, here's a question is, my God, after good fathers nurture their children for so long, and, we've nurtured them to be citizens of the world, to accept everyone. That is what we have encouraged our kids. We send them to schools that promote that, and you're accepting to everyone. And it's so sad that when one of us comes out, one of our fellow brothers here that comes out, and their kids reject them.
Yes.
That is so sad, and I'm so sorry about
That's a fear of a lot of these men.
Yeah.
They're still in the closet because their children are going to reject them. Society's going to reject them. Their friends are going to reject them. It's a huge concern.
Well, and it's scary. Maybe that's one reason why a lot of men are not coming out, because they don't want to break that, break the relationship with their kids and with their wives, and they're just going to stay the status quo and stay in the marriage to do that. And so, what's our thought on that?
Well, are you doing that for you, or are you doing? I don't know. Well, that's a different
question. That's
another
question.
episode.
But I really, I mean, this brings up, and I'm glad this listener wrote in, because this is a topic that we could, I think he'd mentioned, we bring in some type of psychologist or psychiatrist to help us dads that their kids have turned against them. What do you do? What do you do? And it's sad.
I'm actively working with someone from Boston that I met on an airplane when I was going to Michigan. I shared. He's a trauma specialist. I'm working to get him on the podcast. John and I are working out some kinks with our podcast when it comes to having a guest on. So we want to make sure that before we have somebody else on the podcast that we've worked together.
Well, because let's just lay it out. Our fucking sound. We're trying to get our sound together. Because again, we're new at this. And Brian, you have done such great work of researching this. But right now we're just trying to figure out the sound, because we're having issues when we have a guest, which we already have some in the cans here. But the sound is bad, so we're trying to figure that out. We'll get it.
We're gonna work it out. He's gonna go sit in the other room, and we're gonna spit all this equipment. All right. So the next one I wanted you to read. It's a letter from a gentleman, 53 years old, titled "Hello, Gents."
Let's see. Hello, gents. He goes, I've started listening to your podcast after hearing Brian's story on Out Late with David. I'm a 53-year-old man in Canada with two beautiful adolescent kids, 18 and 19. I'm married and not out. As with most guys in my situation, I've suppressed my sexuality desires and have rarely acted out on them. Had my first experience at 52. Over the last year, I have started a relationship with a guy I met on a business trip in another city. We have developed a bond that I've never felt before, and we have become very close. I'm sure you can relate to this type of closeness, which I've not felt ever in relationships with women. Your podcast has helped me more than you can imagine, especially John. John has helped me so much. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going off. I've been it's been an outlet for me. I love your banter and look to you as my coming out coaches. Oh, that's sweet. Coming out coaches. I'm trying to plan my next steps, but it's incredibly hard to initiate that first step, which for me would be to leave, then eventually come out. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I know, thanks to you and other stories, that I will be happier on the other side. Thanks for your help, and would love to join the Gay Dad Worldwide to continue to get support. Keep on going, boys. Thank you so much.
Yes. Well, we won't mention
We won't mention your name, but you know who you are. Thank you.
I did refer him to Gay Fathers Worldwide. So hopefully he logs into that.
Good.
Gay Fathers Worldwide, perfect for him. There's going to be a lot of people in his exact same situation.
Yeah.
There's so many men that are still in the closet that are grappling with exactly what he's talking about here. So, wow, you are not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone. The hopeful thing, though, is like for his children at 18 and 19, they're exposed to, so many kids are fluid today.
Yeah.
And accepting, and I'm hoping that their kids, but as a child, your dad, and then they come out. I mean, that's a shock to them.
Yes.
And they have to cope with that and come around. But it seems like, well, with my boys, it was not an issue. It was a non-issue.
Mine either.
We don't know. We just don't know.
We were lucky.
Yeah.
I think we were both very blessed.
Yeah.
With that. So thank you again for writing in. And then we have another one. And this is from a guy in his late 20s. And it says, first time writing to the podcast. I recently started listening to your podcast. So it's a chance. Oh, is there a chance you have covered this topic? I'm one of those struggling with all these types of labels, but I would say I'm closest to bisexual and appreciate that you recognize it. But my question, I am not a dad coming out like your primary audience. I'm late 20s, but just before COVID is when I was getting ready to explore attraction to men. But being home in lockdown, still living with my parents, put a halt to it. As years since have gone, I have slowly began to take in and embrace LGBTQ culture in small stages. I know you have a Facebook community and support network, but finally, my question is, how do you start to make friends in the gay LGBTQ community if you didn't have it to start? I'm not a fan of clubs and parties, but on an overnight day trip away, I did go to a gay bar and sat and enjoyed the music. I'm not the most social, and every now and again, if I find an interest that might have a gay aspect and the community driven, I consider trying to because of his irregular work patterns, make it tough for him to find a community. Wow. That's kind of how I feel where I live because, it takes me like 45 minutes to get here and I have no gay community or culture in my town.
Up there. Yeah.
I don't know if this guy's a half hour away, an hour away.
Well, and that was my first question. And thank you for writing this in.
And I forgot the thank you, Brian and Big Bear John. That's what he calls you. Big Bear John.
Thank you, late 20-year-old. I feel for you, young buck. I really do. I think you should. I think, for one thing, it doesn't sound like he's just wanting to hook up with guys because there's different stages of coming out. Some just want to hook up with guys and then they finally, get into it. It seems like he's coming from it from a different position of wanting to be in the community, and he doesn't like bars or bath houses or hookup. It doesn't sound like that, and that's very sweet and it's very innocent. And I hope that you could reach out to whatever closest city you're in to see if they have a coming out group, anything like that, so you can kind of and COVID's over, so you can go do that.
Meetups, a lot of
Meetup.
online type stuff.
Because look at this. We're gay dads, right?
Yes.
And there's two types there's a daddy and then there's a father. And I'm talking to this kid, so there's no no miscommunication here. I'm talking as a father for this 20-year-old. Yes. We want to help you. We definitely want to help you because not only we want to help fellow dads and fathers, but we want to help everyone that is struggling with this because it's really hard, and there's so many people that will commit suicide over this, and we don't want that. We want you to get out. We want you to talk to people. So as your gay father here, you're doing the right thing. Go and get some community, get in there and get involved. And it's very courageous, and we really appreciate you writing in. And please go do it and then write us back because that will help other people in their 20s as well of the steps that you took and that you are taking. So that's a good one. Yes. I like Big Bear John.
Yeah, Big Bear John. I like that too.
That was sweet.
I had something else printed here, and I can't. Oh, here it is. One last thing. I didn't send this to you, but one of our listeners sent us something from Palm Springs. He listens to our podcast, and he found a circle jerk weekend in Palm Springs. Unfortunately, It's
it's this
October
weekend.
3rd
It's
through the 7th.
Wait, I gotta go.
You guys go. John's gone. John's gone. They have 65 rooms that they booked at this resort, and it's called Healthy Friction.
Palm.
Yes.
Oh wait, healthy. It's Palm Springs.
Yes.
I read it.
Oh,
Healthy Friction
Palm.
Palm.
Oh, well, that would be part of your circle
Why
jerk.
not? You
Well,
can
when
do
you do a
that.
circle jerk, you hold your own
Right.
penis.
You don't.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
that
called masturbation something, or else if someone else is holding
it's
your penis.
a little jack off huddle.
A jack off huddle. Okay, so listen, this does exist. I think next year the podcast is going to have to sponsor you for this event. We're going to have to send John down to Palm Springs for the Circle Jerk weekend. You may see some.
We got to explain to people, some new listeners that are listening. Let's go back. It was a story of mine when I was in
before you were gay.
Before I was gay, it was in junior high and then in high school that we, some football dudes, we all, would jack off in the same room, but not we're to ourselves.
Is this in the shower?
No. This was just in someone's bedroom or.
Were you like looking at National Geographic at the time?
Well, I think we were watching. We may have been watching porn.
Was there? Oh, like a old set tape or
one of those, the VHS tape. The VHS tape.
Porn tape.
We're probably watching that, and you're 16, 15 years old. I mean, it's always rock hard.
Yeah.
So, but I was sharing that.
Did that continue, or was that just a junior high and high school thing?
That was a junior high. It continued with a few of us, and then, but then there was like one party I had at my house. It was like, I don't know, there's like 10 of us there. Wow. And then some of the girlfriends called on the phone, and I think we did tell them, we're all jacking off right now.
Wow. See, I wasn't invited to these circle jerks. I don't know. That would have taken a different path if I had been to a party where everybody had their dick out.
It was just, but that was in high school. That was high school. So, if you're new listening, that's why Brian brought this to me, because of this circle jerk.
Yes. And it was one of our listeners actually saw it because he knew about the circle jerk. He also wrote in and once said that he didn't participate in circle jerks at his high school either. He didn't know that they were in existence.
Really? Well, I'd like to know if there was more. Listen, listeners out there, if you guys did have circle jerks, and if you were exploring yourself, you didn't know, but you enjoyed it, right? And I'd like to know if there was anybody else that have had these, because you didn't have one.
I did not know. I was bullied. I basically ran through the locker room with blinders on, because when I was in junior and high school, it was different than today. Today, kids don't even change their clothes.
Well, they don't. Because when we were there, you had like a net of like your shorts and your shirt. And I had a crop top. They had crop tops for the boys.
Oh, did they? I didn't have that. The year I joined. Oh, look at you, John. You are a bear, huh? The year I joined junior high school, our lockers were clear across the locker room. You put all your gym clothes in the locker after PE. You walked butt ass naked through the locker room. You had to go into the showers. You had to get wet. Mm-hmm. Then you got out, and then you stood in line while the coach checked your name off of the thing to give you a towel. They needed to make sure that you took a shower.
That's total bullshit. That coach.
No, this was in my entire junior high school. They needed to make sure that you showered, and you were standing in line naked and wet.
Okay, because
Brian showered, checked, here's your towel. John showered, checked, here's your towel.
We had a net, but like it was a bag, and they had the gray gym shorts, which were really short. I mean, they were hot. They were hot shorts. But they had the gray shirt that said Vincent Junior High. But if memory serves, they were not full long shirts. They were like crop tops.
Circle jerks and crop tops at your school, huh? Yeah. Boy. Was it where is it a budget cut and they can only afford
I
half
don't
the
know.
shirt?
I honestly, I think I'll have to go back. I'll look at my annual. I have my annual.
Bring your yearbook and we'll take a picture of it and we're gonna post it on YouTube. We'll post a picture on YouTube.
It was hot. It was hot.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
But today they don't. Like today, my sons they're out there playing basketball in their corduroy long pants, and they have to go back to class. But yeah, it was. But that was the beginning, because you're in elementary school. My elementary was kindergarten through fifth.
well, mine was through sixth.
Okay, so when I went to junior high, which was sixth to eighth grade, that is when you were going to PE, or if you're going to play football, or if you're going to do anything. But that was your first introduction to the locker room, to other naked boys. If you've never seen naked boys before.
Too. And you had hairless, because mine started in seventh grade. I was hairless in seventh grade.
Yeah.
You had all the ninth graders that were just full on puberty.
Yeah.
And
but you also had other sixth graders that they had mustaches already, and some of them were hairy. No, seriously. And then they had, but that was, that for adolescents too. Ones that didn't have hair on their dick yet. That had to be,
that was traumatizing.
Yeah, because you had other guys there with hair, but then you had other guys with, whoa, that's a big dick. Good
in
for
seventh grade, I still had a weenus.
It wasn't a weenus. A weenus.
Well, it was. What's I hadn't hit puberty yet. I hadn't gone through puberty yet. I hadn't filled out.
I don't think I did either until seventh or eighth of getting. But I used to tell people, oh my God, this is hilarious. I used to tell people, well, my doctor said that, since I'm husky, all the hair is still in my fat. And when I lose weight, I'm going to be more hairy and I'll have hair on my dick.
Well, there you go, huh?
What's that?
It happened. Huh? It sprouted.
The doctor was right.
There you go.
He didn't tell me it was going to come out in gray.
Oh my God. All right. We're at 30. Do you have anything else you'd like to say on this episode?
I just, this was great. And thank you again for writing in. And, we're not here to insult anyone, and, but, we're here to help. And I love what we're doing.
Me too. And I love that we have a younger demographic listening.
I love that.
John and I stumbled upon this. I hadn't been able to find it before, but I showed you last week our demographic had a lot. Between the ages of 18 and 35, we have a sizable number of young listeners. One last thing.
Yeah.
Last week I shared that I occasionally wear my wedding ring when I'm at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Divorced in 2020. It's now 2024. I still occasionally wear my wedding ring. I gave that some thought afterwards, and a listener actually wrote in and they said, don't pawn your wedding ring. Take it to a jewelry store. Maybe they'll buy it. I wear my wedding ring because there are times when my kids aren't home and I'm there by myself for 4, 5, 6 days at a time. And I feel so lonely. When I put my wedding ring on, I feel like I'm a part of something. I don't feel, even though there's nobody else there, I feel like
part of a
I have
family.
a belonging with my wedding ring on. So that's why I occasionally wear it, or I'll occasionally go to bed wearing it.
Why don't you wear it? Well, you could, why don't wear it on your right hand? I mean, if you want to, because that.
Well, maybe I'll bring it in next week and show it to you. I don't know that it looks like a wedding ring. It doesn't look like a right hand ring.
We all have different families now. And just even on.
Maybe I'll wear a wedding ring and I'll have an imaginary family.
Why not? But I think we're all part of a different family now.
Yes.
It's a different dynamic. And, we have our text chain with Jill and the boys, and it's called our family text.
Okay.
And that's sweet because, they're still young and we want to, we want to make sure everything is okay, and that's our family. And then we have our individuals, of course. And then I have mine with the boys. She has hers with the boys. But we do have that family one because they're in Palm Springs right now. Yeah. They're not at a coming out.
Yeah. They're not at a pool party.
Pride. but my youngest is playing his basketball tournament there, and it was her turn because I took him to San Diego. She goes, "I'll take him to Palm." I go, "You sure you don't want me to take him to Palm Springs?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm sure." Um, and so, but we're on the thing because I want to make sure they get there. And that's the other thing. We're not married. Well, we're not together anymore. But my God, I still care about her. I want to make sure she gets there safe. And there's so much craziness in this world, and that's one thing that I'm glad we still have because she has our youngest son. Yeah, I want to make sure they get there, and I'm like, hey, where y'all staying? So in case there's an earthquake, I know where it is. And things of that. So that's kind of where we are navigating with our modern family today.
I totally get that. All right, listeners, thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Bye.